Good morning. It's 8:30. Welcome to the Wednesday, March 29th meeting of the Board of Franklin County Commissioners, which today is also the Pat Campbell Show. Roll call.
Commissioner Waymire.
Here.
Commissioner Harris.
Here.
Commissioner Dunn.
Present.
Chair Dickinson.
Present.
Commissioner Stottlemyre.
Here.
Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do we have any correspondence or no? Do we have any public comments?
No.
All right. Our consent agenda today consists of the minutes from the meeting on March 22nd, payroll in the amount of $1,241,102.91, tax change orders in the amount of minus $1,531.34.
Motion to approve the consent agenda. Second.
Commissioner Stottlemyre.
Yeah.
Commissioner Harris.
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn.
Yes.
Commissioner Waymire.
Yes.
And Chair Dickinson.
Yes. And we have two items of business. The first one is to consider for approval the annual noxious weed 2023 management plan. Pat Campbell.
Good morning, Commissioners. How are we this morning?
Morning.
Good, thanks.
Good. What this is the second part. I was in here a couple weeks ago. We had the annual control report, and since the state is implementing the new reports, typically it's a combined report, and I overlooked it, and I thought the annual report contained this management plan, and it did not. So this is the management plan just to finish up the state reports that we're required to do. This states what chemicals we're going to use on the road right-of-ways, for which species and kind of a time of year, and it just kind of identifies within our county where we have infestations of certain weeds. So if you have any other questions about it or any comments, more than happy to answer them.
I have really just kind of a little information deal on the Cerisa. Is that continuing to be a problem?
It is because so much of this timbered area, and we're getting more and more out of town or out of area landowners, and it's harder to get a hold of them. And where it's timber like outside of an airplane or actually flat walking through it, it's hard to get it controlled. That obviously airplane's not really a good option at that point in time because it's going to kill all the foliage above it too. So it's getting tougher. Then like the Johnson grass along the rivers, it's also tough to get to. Because it's tough to get an airplane through there or helicopter, whatever it may be, because you have to use certain chemicals that'd be water safe and things like that as well. It's not impossible, it's just tougher to do.
Not asking for a vote yet.
Right.
Okay, an affirmative motion in support of this would be as follows. I make a motion to approve the noxious weed 2023 management plan.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Commissioner Harris.
Yes.
Commissioner Dunn.
Yes.
Commissioner Waymire.
Yes.
Commissioner Stottlemyre.
Yes.
And Chair Dickinson.
Yes, and then
I will have this sitting over here. I'll need your autographs when we get sent done. For some reason, I only supplied 3 lines, so just 2 of you, just kind of wherever, but I need all 5 of them.
And then the second item of business is to consider approval awarding chemical bids to Van Diest Supply.
Yes, Commissioners, you have there in front of you. I sent out letters of requests for bids to 5 different people or companies. 2 of them have responded back. One of the vendors that we typically work with, he hasn't had a new mailing address, failed to inform us of it, and so he did not, and because I called him after the bids were open, I said, why? He said, didn't know anything about it. And we asked why, where you sent it, and I told him, I said, well, there's why, and he said, that's my fault. The other ones I never got a response from, which is not unusual. I haven't got a response back from them in several years now. So that's why I recommend Van Diest get the award for the bids. And I'm sure it's gonna be like it was last year. They're not gonna honor these for a long period of time. So I'm gonna load up early with a bunch of chemical at this cost because they're already talking some more price hikes for mid-year already.
The other company that you couldn't get the letter to, are they usually lower or?
In spots, it's usually a split bid between the two, between Van Diefs and the other company. It's usually a split bid, and it has been the last several years. So, but I gotta go with what I've got.
Right.
You're not gonna do Remedy this year?
Remedy, yeah, it's on there.
But it said no bid.
That-
Not available.
Well, that's Remedy Ultra. Remedy Ultra is not available anymore, so they're back to the old formula of Remedy. I think the way it's been explained to me, and I've not physically studied it real hard, Remedy Ultra is more of an oil-based chemical, and Remedy, straight just Remedy, is a water-based chemical. So, but it's still the same active ingredient, it's just the carrier is different. I'm saying that's like also on here, if you look, there's no 2,4-D low vol. In years past, we've always had low vol. I can't even get 2,4-D low vol right now unless I get it in a 6-pound formulation in bulk, which is a 250-gallon tote. Well, we're not licensed to repackage and stuff like that, and we'll never use it. So I can't even get 2,4-D low vol right now either.
Any other questions or discussion? All right, an affirmative motion would read, I make a motion to award the 2023 noxious weed chemical bid to Van Dief's Supply.
So moved. Second?
Commissioner Dunn?
Yes.
Commissioner Waymire?
Yes.
Commissioner Stottlemyre?
Yes.
Commissioner Harris?
Yes.
Chair Dickinson?
Yes.
And the good news on this, 4 of these actually did go down over what it was the end of last year, so that helps. But several of them still went up again too. So,
It is what it is.
yeah, exactly.
You need it.
All righty. Thank you very much.
All right, we'll go on to staff reports. Derek.
I don't have anything today, thank you.
All right. No. Sheriff, do you have anything? Yay!
Good morning. I just wanted to share that this week is First Responder Wellness Week. We kind of got into this a little bit late. This is the first annual Wellness Week for first responders. So we're kind of learning a little bit of it as we go along. Have been working with Christy Hilliker. We've had some conversations. So there are some things that we'll be doing for all of our first responders in the Sheriff's Office, EMS, and dispatch. Not as much as we would normally do, but like I said, we're kind of just learning about this. I think it's a really good idea and much needed, and I think it goes kind of along the lines of what our organization is doing, wanting to do specifically to take care of our people, and then obviously other organizations across the country are as well. So that is going on this week. So I tell you that we've received several informational videos and things like that to kind of help people along the lines of anything from stress of the job to diet to exercise to financial things, you name it. So, but that's going on this week, and just wanted to acknowledge that and just appreciate all that our first responders do. We work hand in hand with volunteer fires as well as the EMS a lot, and we appreciate the sacrifices that everybody makes for our community. So that's all I have.
How did that trash truck possible explosion deal, how'd that work? How'd the response work on something like that?
It was in the city, so the city's protocol kicks in. It was a joint effort between the police department and fire department. We don't have a local bomb squad, and when you're thinking that there may be a device, we have people that we call for that. So that organization as well as ATF came in to help investigate, and they were able to render everything secure and get things back to normal as soon as they could. But we tried to, we were covering calls in the city since all the city resources were dealing with that incident, and so we were kind of looked like they had everything pretty well under control. They were evacuating the area that they needed to, and we have pretty good guidelines for that stuff. And Tom Winter, our emergency management director, he also gets involved in those things as well. So we're pretty good. The structure that we have in place works pretty well, and it was effective in this case as well.
Thank you. Dustin, do you have anything? All right. Yeah.
I'm gonna switch my hats. I'm gonna put my solid waste hat on right now. Just to let you know, City of Ottawa's free dump is starting this weekend, starting on Friday, so they'll have their dumpsters out and about. We'll have one at the lot at the recycling center, a drop-off station there. And then also, good news, our backhoe and us are in the same town now. We're still waiting on a couple parts yet, but we're on the same town, so we're closer, we're getting there. So hopefully I'm hoping maybe by the end of next week, we'll have that booger in service, just short the clamshell or the clam grapple on the back, but we'll got a plate we'll modify to put on there to where we can get that booger in service. So big steps. I'm happy to see it. It's sitting out there and it's a bright, pretty yellow. So I'm glad to see it. So thank you.
Awesome. We'll be glad to get that booger in service then. All right. Clerk's office.
Nothing.
No. All right. We'll start with commissioners.
I don't have anything.
All right. All right.
I just want to wish everybody a happy Easter.
Okay. We're getting there. Not quite, but almost. Nothing for you. Okay.
Taking your time up for.
I only had a couple of meetings. We had a meeting of the FCDC board and a lot of discussion on where just the direction that board is going to go in the future. And then last Thursday, I had an RMH board. A couple of things that happened in the last month. Epic, which is a electronic medical record system. It's kind of like a top of the line kind of thing. Went live in the last month, and they did really well as far as getting that implemented. And then they had the Joint Commission here in the last month, which is they're authorized by Medicare and Medicaid, and they just kind of show up, and then they go completely through your property and your operations, and then to make sure that you are doing the things that you're supposed to be doing. And they had a really good, that was really good too. So anyway, just moving forward. Other than that, we are done with our regular business, and we are going to go into an executive session.
20 minutes with the commissioners and the administrator counselor to discuss a personnel matter involving non-elected personnel.
All right, so a 20-minute executive session. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? All right, 20 minutes. So we're going in at 8:43. All right, it's now 9:03, and we are out of executive session, and no business was conducted, and then I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.